The anxiety apocalypse. I'm sitting here in the park today just praying to God just about our culture and the people and what's going on and what's called mental illness and the mental health crisis and the need for so much therapy, etc. And so I'm hoping I can bring some biblical truth drops that'll tackle, for you anyway, how to break the stronghold. It is a stronghold of fear. The scene is your anxious mind versus Yeshua's perfect peace. Oh, family, this is so an Isaiah 26:3 moment. Let's demolish this anxiety epidemic that's got an entire generation locked in survival mode. Because right now, people are living in a prison of what ifs when Yeshua already paid for your even ifs. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? The Hebrew understanding of anxiety is misplaced trust. Let's get deep for a second. In Hebrew thought, anxiety isn't a mental health issue. It's a spiritual positioning problem. You look for some scriptures of anxiety in the Hebrew Bible. It'll be hard to find except when the people are in rebellion, right? So the Hebrew word is diag, and this is why you'll see it when they're in rebellion. D-A-H-A-G, diag, which literally means to worry or to fear. But here's the revelation. The same root is connected to idolatry. And I was like, what? Like why? Because anxiety is essentially putting your trust in your fears instead of your Father. When Yeshua said, do not worry about your life, in Matthew 6:25, he wasn't being insensitive to your struggles. He was identifying a faith transfer problem or a trust transfer problem. You've taken the trust that belongs to Yahweh and invested it in worst case scenarios. And that's what we've done. The anxiety generation is living from amygdala and not from authority. Oh, but this generation stays in fight or flight mode, doesn't it? It's almost heartbreaking. The panic attacks, the chronic stress, the medical prescriptions, starting in children like 10, 14 years old, the social anxiety. You already know how this scene plays out. Constantly checking your phones for bad news, physical symptoms with no medical cause, paralyzed by decisions that previous generations made so easily, catastrophizing every minor setback into some total disaster, basically. But Yeshua already showed you the script for this one. In Mark 4, when the disciples were panicking in the storm, what was Yeshua doing? Sleeping. He was sleeping in the back of the boat. And when they woke him, freaking out and everything, he didn't validate their anxiety. He questioned it. He said, what are you so afraid of? Do you still have no trust? Mark 4:40. Now, the Greeks translate that word, that Aramaic word, into the word faith. Do you still have no faith? And we kind of lose a lot of meaning when we do that. But it actually means, so the word faith in the New Testament should always be translated trust. Isn't that helpful? And so Yeshua is saying, why are you afraid? Do you still have no trust in me? He wasn't minimizing the storm. It was a real storm. He was challenging their interpretation of the storm. He's saying, does the presence of the storm mean the absence of my care? The neurological reality is your brain on chronic stress. The science is clear, isn't it? We all know what the science says. We already know what the cortisol levels in your brain are doing and how it can actually kill you even. But one of the ways it's doing that is because of the brain damage that's occurring in your nervous system. It's called neurological consequences. Chronic anxiety literally rewires your brain. Who wants that? And it does it by shrinking your hippocampus, which is your memory center, and enlarging your amygdala, which is your fear center. And so that means as your amygdala gets larger, your brain is always constantly scanning for threats. And you just stay in a hyper awareness sense of panic on the inside. It means you never have any internal peace. Everything is swirling. But this is your brain on anxiety. Anxiety causes trauma. Anxiety is trauma. And Yeshua's example, his example offers natural rewiring. In John, this is the work of God, Yeshua says, to believe in the one he has sent. John 6:29. That's it. Even belief is a gift from God and not something that we manufacture through our willpower. So what do? You recognize that anxiety is an idol. It isn't just how you are. It's how you've been trained to be. You understand that your nervous system can be reset through practiced trust. Just start trusting God. You start building a new neural pathway of peace through intentional trust habits, because you are not designed to live from your amygdala, the lowest faculty of your brain. You are created to live from your authority as a child of the Creator of all things. The Kingdom Protocol, Paul's anti-anxiety system, is in Philippians 4:6-8. Paul didn't just say, don't be anxious. He gave us a whole system to transfer our anxiety. He said, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to Yahweh, and the peace of Yahweh, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Yeshua HaMashiach. This isn't just positive thinking, it's active trust. You literally give your anxiety to God through thanksgiving, which is the highest form of trust, because you're actually thanking Him for the answer before you see it. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Anxiety comes, start talking to Him. Oh gosh, I'm feeling this right now. This isn't true. I feel it, but it's not true. God, I thank you that you're with me to help me through this, to rewire my brain, or whatever you have to do. The old you, maybe you thought anxiety was part of your personality. Maybe you thought it was your cross to bear, or even somehow, maybe you thought you were more spiritual because you cared so much. But this you're embracing the truth that anxiety is optional and not mandatory. You're recognizing that peace is not the absence of storms, but the presence of Yeshua with you in your storms. You're practicing trust as an action and not a feeling. Yeshua slept through storms, not because He was disconnected, but because He was connected to a higher reality. And that connection is available to you. Here's the closing scene. You breathing in the presence of God. You take a deep breath. You feel the familiar tightness in your chest starting to build, and you recognize this physiological response as a habit that you've formed, but not your destiny. And then you smile, remembering Yeshua's words, "My peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give you to you as the world gives. So do not let your heart be troubled. Do not be afraid." John 14:27. And you begin to intentionally receive this peace as a gift. Not earn it as an achievement. And you start practicing your authority over your nervous system. That's right, you're taking control over you and your own brain. And when the anxiety waves try to pull you under and they try to drown you, you just smirk and you whisper under your breath, even if Yahweh is still on the throne and he's with me and he's in me, even if. Cut! That's your anxiety breakthrough right there. Let's kill these idols. Knock them down. Kill them. Destroy them. This is what it looks like to break anxiety's stronghold. Idols are strongholds. Anxiety isn't your identity. It's an intruder in your mind. Peace isn't something you find. Peace is someone you trust. He's the Prince of Peace. Your nervous system can be retrained through practice trust. And so here's a Yahweh wisdom tip. Your first step, create your trust transfer protocol. Whenever the stronghold of anxiety hits, immediately place your hand on your heart and say, "This feeling is real, but it's not the truth." Take 4 slow, deep breaths. 4 counts in. Hold for 4 counts. 4 counts out, all while just saying, "Yeshua, Yeshua." His name alone means deliverer and rescue. And then name 3 things that you can trust God with in that exact moment. And do 1 physical action. I put my hands on my heart, or I breathe, or I stand up. So you can stand up, you can stretch, you can walk to break the freeze response. You got to break the freeze response. So the physical, spiritual practice interrupts the anxiety cycle and begins retraining your nervous system. You're taking authority over it. So ready to walk in supernatural peace? Text me Shalom to schedule a session where we will identify your anxiety triggers and replace them with specific faith practices and trust practices that are tailored to your unique struggles. Keep breathing, family. This generation wasn't designed for anxiety. It was designed to demonstrate supernatural peace in chaotic and uncertain times. I love you so much. Here's today's PS. When Isaiah said, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you." That's Isaiah 26:3. The Hebrew literally says, "Shalom, shalom." It's a double peace. Not just a surface calm in your brain, but a peace that goes all the way down through your entire nervous system. That's our inheritance. Enjoy it. Until next time. Bye-bye.